Okay, here we are, Shannon. Got your writing up here. I was taking a look at that, and everything makes sense here. Good job. Thanks for including that written rationale. Let's go ahead and jump to the ad. I think the first and most obvious thing that we're seeing here is that the ad itself is formatted incorrectly. Well, I shouldn't say incorrectly. I should say it's formatted for a different size magazine than what is required here for this magazine ad. Remember, our file size here is 8.5 by 11, and typically 8.5. Typically in design, when dimensions are given, the width is always given first. So when you see a file specification to say 8 by 10, that means 8 width and 10 height. So this should be 8.5 by 11, meaning 8.5 width and 11 height. Right now you've got it set at a horizontal orientation where you've got 11 as the width and 8.5 as the height. So we definitely want to change that. Now, when you do change that, there are a couple of things are going to happen. This image isn't going to fit. You're going to have to really readjust some things. I'm not crazy about this image, to be honest with you, because watch what happens. So I'm going to zoom in here. And look how grainy the image is. It's really, really super grainy. It's not a very high quality image at all. I mean, it's good resolution, but it's just really, really grainy. So the other thing about this ad is that it's pretty cloudy sky. Now, you've done some smart things here in enhancing the clouds in the sky. Generally, I think that's a good move. Because what you're doing basically, as you had described, is you're establishing a good tonal variation between the highlights and the shadows. And that's good. That brings out the contrast in the image. And you've done a great job here because you've still got detail in the shadow areas as well as the highlight areas. So that's fantastic. Nothing's overdone. This image also, I think, is adjusted very well. So my recommendation is to move forward. And you know, my format is this. This is what I recommend. And the reason I recommend this is A, it's simplicity. B, it's good, solid, sound page mechanics that will work very well in the final student portfolio, giving this piece a chance in that portfolio when that time comes. So what I would recommend is this, is you've got your, whoops, didn't want to do that, sorry. You've got your orientation that is 8.5 by 11, right? So what I would recommend, let me jump over to the course announcements real quick. Well, actually, I don't need to do that. Let's say 8.5 by 11. So you've got up on the top, you've got, let me show you something here. Let me just do something really quick here. Let me see if I have let's 8.5 by 11. I just want to set this up really quick. So here's what I would recommend. Okay, so a format something like this. So we got the bleed, right? So your background image would come to the bleed line. So you have one main background image like you have. Then you've got your headline. Okay, then you've got your subhead. Okay, then you've got your paragraph, call to action. Note things are aligned. This margin should equal this margin, and so on and so forth. And we can get equal a consistent margins. Body copy. Then I would put the contact information and the logo. And I think that is a really, really good formula for the page, something like that, because it allows negative space to be activated. It allows the type to work seamlessly with the background. The alignment is important, so make sure everything pretty much aligns with something in your page. But I would recommend that kind of a setup. I recommend you reformat this. I recommend you reformat it, and I also recommend you change out the background image. The concept is great. The little parrot looks fantastic. This is good. Everything is good, but that really super grainy background image right now, as is, I wouldn't suggest using this piece in a final student portfolio, because if I were to look at this piece in a portfolio, first thing I would say to myself or to the designer is I would say this is a really damaged image. It's not suitable for professional output at this point. And so that's pretty important consideration. So those are my recommendations. Let's go ahead and make those changes. If you need help or you want to ask any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. But yeah, so those are my recommendations. So I would like to see those changes made really before you start your banner ad. And the reason being is because there's got to be a high degree of visual cohesion between the magazine ad and the banner ad. So if you make changes here, theoretically, they're gonna reflect in the banner ad, right? So what you don't want to do is start developing your banner ad based on this, and then come back and change this, because then you'll have to change the banner ad too. So I would say change this, then develop your banner ad based on what we have here. Okay, hope that makes sense. Let me know. All right, good job. Great start. If you have any questions, please give me a holler. Thank you very much.